Well, life is what happens when you make plans, right?
Yep, we were going to clean up this pumpkin patch today, and then it started to pour rain.
You have the first rain in what, 6 weeks?
Yeah, it wasn't expected.
No, you can see that the pumpkin, the tops of the pumpkins here have been hit with frost. The rest of it's still alive, but it's just that time of year, right?
Yep, it is.
I think it's the first official day of fall.
It is. But you can see that these have been coloring up here for the last little while. There's a few more down there that are still pretty green, but
Some pretty good pumpkins again.
we got some pretty good pumpkins again. Yeah.
Anyway, we're not going to be able to show you this. We'll have to get to it maybe later in the week, but let's get into the show.
Much of Canada was settled and developed by homesteaders. The Dominion Lands Act, passed in 1872, was in force until 1952 in the West. Homesteaders, through sheer force of sweat and determination, transformed the prairies into thriving communities. Our grandparents cleared and broke the land and carved society out of the northern wilderness by hand. Today, modern conveniences have robbed most of society of the ability to fend for themselves. After a global pandemic rocked the world, causing food shortages and insecurity, homesteading saw an explosion in popularity. People searched for the old ways to secure a safe and stable food supply for their families. Join us as we rediscover the joys and challenges of homesteading at the Mellon Patch. Welcome to our life. Welcome to the Mellon Patch.
All right, my pads are in and level. Square with the world. Now to build the skids and then onto the floor. A little bit of work got done. Pads are in level, the skids are underneath. I got some temporary spreaders holding those skids, and for a good reason. You're actually looking at the bottom of the floor. I take it, sheet the bottom, then I flip it over, and then I insulate, and then sheet it, and then that's my floor. But around here we have to insulate our walls, our ceilings, our floors, everything, or you just don't make it through the winter. It's you know, you'll have a lot of frost inside the building even, so takes a little bit extra for the building, but it's looking good. Just got to turn it over now. 12 by 24, it'll be an interesting turn. I've been a carpenter since I was 12. Well, I started working in the trade at 12 during summers and after school. I was full-time by the time I was 18. But in those 54 years, I've accumulated a lot of tools. And I gotta tell you, those tools are absolutely priceless to a homesteader. And the reason being is that it frees you up from requiring other people or counting on other people to show up for labor. You can do so much more by yourself with the tools. Everybody talks about the old saying that said, you know, the clothes make the man. I prefer to think it's the tools that make the man. I know there's a lot of self-made men and carpenters out there that are going to look at how I'm building this, and they're going to have a bunch of questions. But you got to remember that on the homestead, on a farm, buildings are purpose-built. So this is built to be a chicken coop. I'm using rough cut 2x4s for the floor joists. I wouldn't be satisfactory for anything that was going to carry any load, but this is just carrying the weight of chickens, you know, nothing at all. The reason I sheet the bottom with OSB and then flip it is that it seals off my fiberglass insulation from squirrels and mice. If they get in there, they make a terrible mess. I did once. I used a heavy duty poly, but even a 20 mil poly is not satisfactory to keep out mice and squirrels. They get in. And you know, they don't really bother you from the inside or bother the chickens, but what happens is they burrow tunnels all the way through all that insulation, and you lose the whole insulating factor. You know, it's greatly degraded, and you lose the reason that you put it in there. I went with R12 insulation, 3.5 inches of insulation in the floor. Once again, it is not satisfactory for building code, but it is great for a chicken coop where you just got to keep you know, the temperature above freezing. Whenever you insulate a wall or a floor, you need to have a vapor barrier. I haven't forgot to put my vapor barrier on here. Usually it goes against the studs, over top of the insulation against the studs and just underneath the sheeting. But I'm gonna have a complete covering of this floor that's gonna be 20 mil poly that'll go across the top of the OSB to protect it from chicken poop. That will be my vapor barrier and stop vapor and moisture from getting into my insulation. Another fact of life when it comes to homesteading is that all of this stuff has been repurposed. This is all rough sawn. This is uncertified board, and you get a deal on it. It all builds chicken coops, right? I'm starting here on my big wall. This is going to be a classic chicken coop, so it's going to have a single slanted roof. And this wall here will have 2 windows and 2 chicken doors in it. So the very first thing I do is lay out for those windows and doors, and I will take and frame them in before I put in the rest of my studs, so that my studding doesn't get in the way of my headers and my sill plates. Well, I'm going to have to leave the project at this stage this week. As you can see, the 2 long walls are framed, built, and sheeted, ready to stand. But let's go see what Sandi's up to in the kitchen. She told me she had something special going on.
So today in the Chaos Kitchen, we're going to make some cherry jam. And I'm doing it a little different this time. I'm using my immersion blender to chop up the fruit a little bit more, because I think the consistency would be better that way. And so what I've done, I froze cherries that we picked from Tart Cherry Orchard in northern Alberta. I froze them in the summertime, and just so I could have a little bit more, let's say, relaxed time of making jam, instead of having to make many batches of jam all at once. So this is 16 cups of tart cherries that I had froze over the winter, and I'm just gonna grind them up.
So this is going to be like cherry jelly with pulp.
Yeah, but I did the same with the bumbleberry jam that I just made, which we didn't get any film of, but I took Haskap berries that we had picked out of our own garden, strawberries that we picked out of our own garden, and raspberries from our garden, and we did the same thing. We froze them, and so on the weekend then I made what we call bumbleberry jam, which is the combination of the 3 of them together. I was telling somebody at work today that I made bumbleberry jam, and they said, I don't even know what a bumbleberry is. So that was some comedic relief today.
It was totally made up is what it was.
Yeah, exactly. And then, so one of the things I didn't do before I started on this is to get my sugar ready. So I have to do that, but what goes into here, or what went into here, is 4 things of Certo, 16 cups of the fruit, and then in this case 8 tablespoons of lemon juice, the real lemon, and then it'll be I believe 16 cups of sugar, not quite 16 cups of sugar, probably 14 cups of sugar that'll go into this. So you bring the berries and the Certo and the lemon juice all to a roiling boil, turn it down, and then add the sugar. So I said about 16 cups, but actually it's 3/4 of a cup of sugar to a cup of berries. So it actually is 12 cups of sugar. So add it gradually.
This is different than using a sweet cherry, huh?
Correct, yeah. However, it will still be a rather, it'll be kind of a tart jam with just enough sweet in it. Oh, I could probably have combined that a little bit more. Yep.
She bulks up a lot when she gets to the rolling boil, doesn't it?
Yeah. So I'm just giving it a stir here, and you can see we have a gas range, so the heat comes off immediately, but the burner's still a little bit warm, or what it sits on there.
Look at how it's shrunk down.
Yeah.
It's already 2 inches lower than it was.
Yeah, well, look there. Yeah. There's where it almost got interesting. Oh, the boil is done, and we've taken it off the heat, so you can see just by the rim around here how much it boiled up. And this is what I was talking about earlier with the foam. And I am not particular to getting 100% of it out, but I do like to get most of it. And somebody I know likes to have a little taste of it before the jam is all cooled off and whatnot. So that's what came off of that. And that sets up really well. So then on to filling the jars. So I remember when my mom made jam, first of all, I remember that she used to seal the top of a jam jar with wax and a little string in there, and whoever got the first dollop out of it always got a little taste of wax as well. But she didn't have anything like this to help fill her jars that I remember anyway, but then I wasn't really keen about kitchens back then. I was more into sports. So I've got, I think it's a dozen jars here. And so we'll just fill them, and we fill them to about the rim here, and then I can them afterwards. So, oh, what great consistency. This is going to taste just beautiful. So pretty much 2 scoops. And then we move to the next one. I just try and keep this stuff out of the way, keep the mess down to a minimum. Doesn't always work out. So 10 pints of Isn't That Spectacular cherry jam. Oh, can't wait. So put these in here. And the nice thing about this canner is it's a double-decker. So then what I do is I could fit another one in there, but I've got 4 more to put, and then it just balances out nicely. So I put that there. I'll turn the heat on, and then put these last ones in the top.
A little bit of water in there. This is a pressure vacuum canner.
That's correct, yeah. So a lot of people use water baths, and I know Richard's mom used to use a water bath all the time. And then she got a pressure canner, and I don't think she ever looked back.
Nope.
So this one has a little bit of a bevel on the bottom of it, and it's not really suitable for any kind of a glass top. But like I said to you before, we have a gas range. So this works perfectly for us. And then This is a well-loved canner. I've used this, I don't know, it's worth its weight in, I don't know, titanium maybe. It's, it has canned a lot of produce, jams, jellies, meats, juices, all kinds of things. So
You actually have more than one.
I do. I have another one downstairs, but the next thing I'm going to do tonight is a jelly. And so I just brought this up because it's going to take a little bit of time. By the time this is done, the jelly will be ready to go in. So this is just a light canning, I guess, because as you saw, when I filled the jars, it's very hot. And so I just put the snap lids on, get this under pressure. When the pressure, I don't know what you call that, button, I guess, when it pops up, it needs to be up for 10 minutes only. If you do it any longer than that, the jars, and it's happened to me, the jars are broken, everything gets all disgusting and ruins everything. So this way, and pretty much everything snaps. I have like a 98% success rate with the snaps.
When you say snapped, you mean it's sealed.
That's correct, yeah. So those snap lids that you put on, when it cools enough, then it just sucks the air down and it snaps the lid, and it's actually kind of cool to listen to it. When you take the lid off, they start to pop right away. So it's kind of cool. But yeah, on to the next project. So the button is down. I've taken the weight off, and I'll just twist this guy off. And the reason I take the weight off is that I turn this thing upside down right away. Put it in here. And then, oh, now, do you hear it? They start to snap. Oh, look at that red gold.
Mm-hmm. We should maybe admit that we've already had some of the foam.
We sampled some foam, and I think we're going to have to rename this cherry pie jam and not just cherry jam, because, wow, it tastes like cherry pie. Oh, geez, it's scary as it snapped.
It did. It just snapped right there.
Oh, again, jeepers. Maybe blink.
You're a little jumpy, aren't you?
Yeah, I know. Well, everybody else is jumpy around my canner, but I'm usually okay. And this is very hot, so pull that out. It is delectable. And just in time too, so these come out, and now the apple pie jelly is ready to be, have the foam skimmed off of it and for it to be jarred. So, lots of good stuff going on around in the kitchen. Not a lot of foam on this.
Gosh, it smells good. Can you smell it? Take a deep snort.
Yeah, if only they could smell it, right?
Yeah, it does smell good.
It does smell good, doesn't it, honey?
April 16th. Last of the snow is gone off of the garden. Still a bit around the edges. Things are still very cold. But look at the hope right here. There is buds on the raspberries. On some of them. Oh, I see looks like leaves are happening on the hascaps too. Good to see. Gonna be probably 2 weeks or 3 weeks before the garden goes in. Week 3?
Starting on week 3, we got them 2 weeks ago yesterday. So we got them at pretty much a day old, and you can see how feathered up they're getting.
There's 2 chicks and a turkey right in front of you.
Yeah, exactly. So the turkeys will take a little longer, about 16 weeks, and the chicks are roughly 8 weeks. So we only have about 6 more weeks to go. So hopefully by the end of May, we're butchering.
What have we had so far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 dead ones. One that don't look so good right now.
Yeah, one is suffering pretty good there. So.
I think we'll call him number 9 and take him out of his misery.
Well, that's the thing about livestock is you always have dead stock.
Yeah.
So whether they're horses or chickens, you know.
Look at that turkey.
Yeah, and the turkeys are a little.
You can't do that when he's 40 pounds.
No. Hopefully, I don't really want a 40-pound bird. A nice 20, 25 pounder would be just perfect.
Oh, we gotta go check eggs yet.
Yep. So this is our duck coop all winter. Now these girls like to be in here and roosting. We got one more duck down here.
I see some underneath the ramp over there.
Oh yeah. No chickens in here though.
Very seldom.
Oh, there's one here with a duck. And then this seems to be a good hiding place for them every now and then. One day I came out here and there was a chicken sitting on what I thought were a couple eggs, and then I started digging around and there was like 15 eggs under there. Crazy.
This girl's a favorite of the roosters.
Yeah.
Maybe why she's
Make sure
sitting.
you don't bounce her out of here so that somebody can grab a mouthful. Oh, what do I do here? All right.
Winston the bird dog is very interested in what's going on. Well, you know it's for supper. I'm off to do some cooking. Hope you enjoyed this week's show. We'll see you next week.